Now, on the next example, this one's a little more difficult because you guys can see here, they don't all share an x, right? So what I told you guys to do in this case, when they don't all share an x, is to rewrite it as, but it is a trinomial though, right?
Yeah.
So when they don't all share an x, what we can do is we can rewrite this as a trinomial maybe that we can factor. For instance, x squared minus x minus 56. Here's something that's a little bit more familiar for us to be factoring. So if I was going to factor this to say what two numbers multiply to give you negative 56, add to give me negative 1. Negative 8 and positive 7. So this would be x minus 8 times x plus 7. Would you guys agree with me that's the factored form? Yes?
Yeah.
X times x gives you x squared. We want to find the factors, though, that multiplied x times x to give us x to the 4th. So we're going to want to change our factors. Instead of x and x, they should be x squared. We set our y equal to 0. OK? Now, again, you have a product equal to 0. Apply the 0 product property. X squared minus 8 equals 0. X squared plus 7 equals 0. Now we simply solve. Add 8, subtract 7, subtract 7. X squared equals 8. X squared equals negative 7. I'm solving equations now. OK? Now we need to solve for the square roots. So to undo the square root, or to undo squaring, we need to take the square root. Now we also need to remember we need to simplify the square roots, right? So if simplifying the square root, we want to see can we simplify it by taking the square root of any numbers. So remember also when you introduce the square root, you got to take the plus or minus. So therefore, x equals plus or minus the square root. Now instead of 8, I'm going to write this as 4 times 2. Do you guys agree 4 times 2 is the same as 8?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then here, I'm going to write this x squared plus or minus the square root. I'm going to write this as positive 7 times negative 1. Do you guys agree with me that 7 times negative 1 is the same thing as negative 7?
Yeah.
OK. So I'll explain. First of all, the reason why I rewrote this as 4 times 2 is because 4 is a square number. You always want to see if you can rewrite your radical with the product of a square number. Because can we take the square root of 4?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 2. Now, the reason why I rewrote this as a negative 1, because can we take the square root of negative 7?
No.
No, we can't take the square root of any negative numbers. But how do we represent the square root of negative 1? I. I don't know why. So your final answer is square root of 7i. OK?